Sometimes the most amazing ideas aren't found in some ancient book or huge database. Sometimes they're right there on a single, kind of cryptic page from a notebook. And today, we're going to take one of those pages and just see what secrets it's hiding.
So, here it is. This is it, our entire source for today. It's just a diagram, a couple of words, and a date. But hey, take a closer look at that date, March 16th, 2026. A note written on a Monday that hasn't even happened yet. So yeah, this isn't just a note, it's a real mystery.
Okay, so we're going to approach this thing kind of like it's an archaeological find. What was its purpose? Who wrote it? And what kind of personal universe were they trying to map out for themselves? Let's start with the most basic question this page throws at us. I mean, seriously, what are we even looking at? Is this some kind of personal mantra to guide a daily meditation? Maybe a framework for a creative project? Or is it something way bigger, like a personal map of how the author sees reality itself? The possibilities are just really fascinating to think about.
Before we can even hope to see the big picture here, we have to figure out what the symbols mean, right? Like any good map, this one has a key, a legend. So to decode all these connections, we first need to learn the alphabet it's written in. And that alphabet, believe it or not, actually comes from music, specifically from the foundational scale of Indian classical music. These aren't just random scribbles. They are literally the building blocks of melody and, in this case, the building blocks of meaning. The system's called Sargam, and if you're familiar with the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti from Western music, then you're on the exact right track. Sargam is basically the Indian counterpart, a set of syllables that represent the notes of the scale. And this is the language of our map. So here they are, the 7 notes, or swaras. You've got sa, re, ga, ma, pa, tha, and ni. Now, our diagram only uses the first 4, but seeing the whole set kind of helps you appreciate the system it's built on. It's a very deliberate choice to only use this specific part of the scale. All right, now that we have the key, we can actually start unlocking this map. We're going to go note by note, just follow the arrows, and see how the author connects this ancient musical system to some really deep personal ideas. So, everything seems to begin with sa. In Indian music, sa is the tonic. It's the home base, the note that everything else relates back to. It's the ground floor. So it makes sense that the author starts their cycle right here. And the connection is immediate and powerful. Sa is directly mapped to Saraswati, the Hindu goddess of knowledge, music, and art. This tells us, right off the bat, that the cycle's starting point is divine inspiration. It's knowledge itself. Okay, so let's follow the arrow from Sa. It leads us to the second note, Re. The journey moves from this realm of divine knowledge to something a lot more grounded. And here it is, the first step of the process. R is mapped directly to the real world. The author is showing a clear movement from pure knowledge, Saraswati, into actual, tangible application. It's that journey from an abstract idea to concrete reality. But the cycle doesn't stop there. Once we're in the real world, another arrow pushes us forward to the third note, Ga. And what happens when our ideas hit reality? Well, a lot of the time, we run into problems, right? Challenges. The diagram gives us the answer. Ga is connected to Ganeshji, the deity who is famously known as the remover of obstacles. This is such a critical step. After an idea enters the real world, you have to find a way to get past the hurdles that you're going to inevitably face. So, let's recap. We've received knowledge, we've brought it into reality, we've overcome the obstacles. The final arrow in this loop points us to the fourth note, Ma. And this feels like a stage of reflection, maybe a change in perspective. And that's exactly it. The author connects Ma to the moon. Symbolically, the moon often represents the mind, consciousness, our emotions, and of course, the natural cycles of time. This totally suggests a phase of internal processing, of reflection, and maybe understanding this new state of being. Okay, so we've decoded the individual landmarks on this map. We've got knowledge, reality, obstacles, and consciousness. Now, let's take a step back and look at the whole journey. What's the story this cycle is telling us? Just look at the flow. It kicks off with Sa, that's knowledge or Saraswati. It moves to Re, the real world. Then it flows to Ga, overcoming obstacles with Ganesh. And finally to Ma, consciousness, the moon.
And from Ma, you can feel that implied arrow leading right back to Sa, creating this perfect perpetual loop. Consciousness leads to new knowledge, and the whole cycle just starts all over again. So what is this thing really? Is it a model for creativity? Idea, execution, problem-solving, reflection? Could it be a personal philosophy for life? Learn, act, overcome, understand? Or, hey, maybe it's just a daily mantra, a simple reminder of a process to follow. Whatever it is, it's a deeply personal, yet totally universal map of how to grow. And that's what's so incredible here. What started as just this cryptic, hand-drawn diagram from the future turns out to be this profound, elegant system for living. It's a whole personal cosmos held on a single page. And all of this leaves us with one final thought. This was one person's map, connecting music, spirituality, and action into a beautiful cycle. So it makes you wonder, if you were to draw a map of your own internal world, your process for creating, for learning, or just for living, what would its landmarks be?